Welcome everyone to Story Ideas on the Fly, where we pick a story idea from a hat and see what we can do with it. Today's story prompt: story based on a weird child phase. You're the one with the little kids right now. Phases.
Yep, they go through, let's see, nudist phase, phase where they put everything in their mouth, phase...
Invincible phase.
Yep,
Yeah,
where
you
they
did
think
that
they're
one.
invincible. They go through different interest phases, so one day they love...
Dinosaurs, princesses, unicorns.
Yeah, cars.
I think I know more than my mom phase. That kind of goes from the time they're 2 until
37.
well into adulthood. Yeah.
Depending on the kid,
Depending
yes.
on the kid. Okay.
Well, actually,
phase.
yeah, that's a because what age range are we going for? Is this really little kid?
When they
It's
say
a weird
child
child
phase.
That usually implies below the age of 10.
Okay, because
Okay, so we're
emo
skipping
could be
all
fun.
because there's also a whole bunch
Yes.
of teenage phases that you go through.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
but we can do a
boy
child
crazy
phase.
phase and the
Yeah.
you know,
Boy crazy,
It also
edgy.
it also depends on the gender.
yes.
That is
Fair
true.
enough.
Okay.
Because
But we
I
can
never went
go-
through a boy crazy phase for
Good
some
for you.
reason.
Yeah. All right. So why don't we go with the thinks they're invincible?
That could be
All
fun.
right, that works.
Because that's kind of
So
a
the question is this guy actually invincible, or does he just think he's invincible?
he just thinks he's
Okay.
invincible.
Oh, sweet. So we have the concept of a character. He's probably not going to be an actual 10-year-old child in the story.
No, let's make him an adult.
But he thinks he's invincible.
What are we going with? Are we going with sci-fi, fantasy, dystopia? I don't
Urban
know,
fantasy.
fantasy. We could go with lots of different genres. Good old
Probably urban
western.
fantasy. I'm feeling either some kind of modern fantasy or sci-fi because is what I'm leaning towards. Urban fantasy works pretty well.
Now, ooh, here's something. Whoop, that's not the
That's the
prompt I
wrong
just
one.
threw in. I have no idea where the prompt I just threw in is. Here we go. It says story based on a weird child phase. Nowhere does it say that this has to be the hero of the story. So
That
we
is
could get
true.
someone that thinks he's invincible, that is a total narcissist, and make him the villain too.
Oh, good
True.
point.
Or
a
we could
secondary
make him...
character.
Or
one
to make an entire society think.
Or we can make the one who
basically
thinks
based
he's
off that phase.
invincible, have your hero be a bodyguard for someone who thinks they're invincible.
Oh, that sounds
that
fun.
could be
But
fun.
but yeah, they're charged.
All right.
Also, invincible doesn't have to mean I think that if someone shoots me with a bullet, it won't die. It could be someone who thinks that they have enough money and enough power and that they are totally invincible, that nobody can take them down.
Mhm. That could be interesting.
Mm.
Okay, so if we had this, that sounds very much like a villain to me.
Mm.
Could
And an interesting thing is your hero could be a bodyguard for the villain.
for the villain, that could be very
He
interesting.
very well could. That would be an interesting dynamic, having the hero and the villain working that closely together.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it could be interesting if the villain starts doing morally wrong things because now the bodyguard is faced with the choice of, do I
Do my duty.
do my duty, or do I,
Do what's right.
do what's right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do my duty or do what's right. That could be an interesting thing, depending on how dark you want to go with this.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're sitting there and you're getting this guy in these moral dilemmas like this, and you're seeing this guy, this invincible guy, using his power and money to destroy people, to tear people down, to ruin their lives, to wipe out their businesses, to do these kind of things, and this bodyguard is protecting him.
Mm-hmm.
This could get dark. This could get dark really quickly.
If you don't want it quite so dark, maybe we could do something to make it a little more humorous.
Maybe the bodyguard could quit very near the beginning of the book.
If you do that, then at that point, yeah.
If he quits near the beginning of the book, then you've got a lot of conflict between him
where
and
they
the villain.
once knew. Well, yes, but
Or here's another interesting thing you could do with it. This villain could have a small child. And then the small child, so as a bodyguard, he could be, sometimes protecting the child, sometimes protecting, because I mean, the prompt did have a child mentioned in it. If you had a child that the bodyguard develops a relationship with, then that could make it could make it more nuanced and
No.
difficult, but it could also make it
I got
fun.
it. I got it. Here's how you do it.
Okay.
So, you have this tycoon, this guy, he's rich, he's powerful, he owns half the country, he's probably as powerful as the actual government is, type thing. He's up there. However, and he has, of course, bodyguards,
Mhm.
because when you're powerful, you need them. But he has a child who is just now a teenager or something, still relatively young, who also has people after them because they're associated with this big bad guy, but didn't actually like go through the fights themselves yet. So they never actually killed someone with their own hands or something. They're just
Or
thrown
done
into
any
this
dirty
life.
work or done
Yeah,
anything.
they didn't do any of the dirty work, so they don't actually have a full, perfect view of reality. And so, this teenager thinks they're untouchable because anytime they've ever had a problem, like, they either
Daddy
throw
snaps
money
his
at it,
fingers
or,
and
yeah,
fixes
Daddy
it.
snaps his fingers and fixes it.
That could be very interesting.
So then, you have the bodyguard be the main bodyguard for this child, who...
Okay, the child is the villain's child.
The
not
villain's
body.
child.
Okay, just wanted to be clear on that.
Yeah, just
yes.
clearing, yes. But the villain's child, however, they're a lot more innocent than the villain. But
Yeah.
so the bodyguard not only has to protect him, but eventually maybe it kind of have a whole plot of having him kind of replace his father, become better,
Mhm.
and yeah. Anyway, that's just my
That could
idea.
be very interesting because then you still have the dark evil villain, but you also have this
More
this
sympathetic villain.
Yes, a more innocent child who's still a villain in his own way, but also
Well, he's
But
a
he's
villain.
more
He's a
forgivable.
redeemable villain.
yes.
And redemption arcs are really a loved theme by readers.
Oh yeah, well, because they're powerful.
Yeah. And because
It would
everybody
also be
feels like
interesting
there's something they need to redeem.
watching this bodyguard
Yes.
try to protect this kid who thinks he's invincible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can't just walk into the middle of the gang. They will beat you to death.
No, I won't. She'll protect me.
Yeah. They'll beat me to death. You know?
They'll beat you to death.
So,
Just get more guard.
It's like,
Oh,
they wouldn't dare touch me. If they do, my father will kill all of them.
so one of the things here too, there's
You're his son.
there's a lot of potential here for a love interest too,
Mm-hmm.
because the love interest could be somebody that works with the villain,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a servant in his house or something like this who can help him get information.
Yeah.
If you really want to kind of throw
I was
in some
expecting you to say
intrigue.
that the kid was a girl and then have that be the romance.
No,
I was
I'm
expecting you to say
thinking
that.
the but something interesting.
You could go that way, but
You could put somebody working in the villain's house who is actually a spy trying to get information.
undercover.
I think that could be a very interesting dynamic.
Oh yeah.
And pull in then because who is after this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Who's trying to take him down? Well, that's an organization that's trying to take him down, whether it's the police or whether it's the, whatever. You've got somebody that he can
Or
kind
you
of
make the
work
guy
with.
so powerful that he has multiple groups, all that would normally be against each other, teaming up just to fight him because he has that much influence, type thing.
Okay.
That could be very
That means,
interesting.
and that means you could have a good variety of people they face. So it's not just, oh, we're the bad guys. So anytime we're getting into these fights, we're having to beat up the good guys to protect ourselves. No, it could be these guys are just as bad, but just less powerful, and so teaming up to
Yes.
stop us. These guys are actually good, but they're not going to be the type to also brute force it. We don't have to just beat them up.
This is something you could actually do, either write it as a novel or write it as a
A series.
TV series, because
Yeah.
you could have a lot of incidents
Mhm.
with trouble that they cause and repercussions of those and things
That
this
could be really
bodyguard has to get them out of.
Yes,
So,
he is a bodyguard.
well, that would
He
be
is a
good
god of
protection.
bodybuilders.
Yeah, that would be good protection. Okay.
That
So
would be very cool. I think that would be fun.
whose would this be to write?
Ooh.
I could write it. I would need to really take some more time, getting some details, but
Yeah.
it could be interesting to write.
I'm gonna give
Really
myself a
intrigue.
50-50 shot.
A lot
I
of
might be able to write
intrigue.
something like
Huh?
this. I might be able to write
You
something like
could.
this.
Julia's not here, but this would be right up her alley. She
Yep.
would love this. That's one of my other daughters. And which of you wants to write it?
Mhm.
Story ideas are free. Go for it. If you have more ideas to add, leave them in the comments. We'd love to hear your insights, and we'll see you next time.